Howdy folks, welcome back to another Bad 66 Chevelle video here. And I'm going to let y'all see what y'all think. Maybe one of y'all out there might know what it is. But this 306 cylinder in this F150 here I just got, it runs good as far as when it comes up off idle. Like if it's anything above 1,000 to 1,500 and above is it runs fine, but it just won't quite idle right. This sensor looks like it's been replaced down here, and then this sensor looks like it might have been replaced at one time, but I'm not quite sure. I know that's the IAC sensor, the idle air control sensor. This sensor I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about what that one is. And then I took and unplugged one of the sensors. They had an old map sensor, it looked like, just sitting right here in the previous video, sitting on top of my heater hose. So I unhooked that and plugged this original one back up and run the vacuum line that comes over to it, hooked all that back up. And I've noticed it's a vacuum line from right here on this port, which is for the heater box. That's one of the heater box doors. I noticed that's unhooked. And I think that went right here because it's a cap on it. Or either right over here. It's one of them three. Just noticed this. I'm not sure what this is for. That's unplugged. I don't know if that's something supposed to be plugged up or what. Somebody's done a hack job on this wiring. Not sure what that is. That's not even going anywhere. I don't know if it's something to do with smog or what. That's the only thing I didn't really like on these newer Fords is they got these hardened plastic lines, and I'm gonna go through this truck, and they crack up over time, and I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna take every one of these off, and I'm gonna put a regular vacuum hose on them. So it's actually like a hose like this. It's not this hardened plastic stuff, because it might be an issue too. It might be a cracking or something that's got a vacuum leak. That's the only issue with the newer trucks. If you got a vacuum leak anywhere, it makes it run awful. It throws everything off. The older stuff, if you had a little vacuum leak, you could still tell it, but it wasn't as make it run as funny. One thing we look at, the thermostat's been off at one time. Somebody's done put a thermostat in it. I know all this smog stuff makes it run funny too. That looks pretty new. Somebody's done put a wiper motor on it at one time. It's old 306 cylinder. Power steering fluid looks pretty good. I don't know if the cap's been leaking or if it's old. I have to get another cap for it. Yeah. It's alright, I can get a cap. That's kind of the least of my concern right now. This truck, I think, has a computer down there. And I'm trying to find out where that sending unit is for the thermostat. Everybody I've seen, for the gauge one, I'm talking about the gauge one, not the computer one. For this gauge one right here, this gauge is only reading to about a quarter way, about right before you get from right here to about, it's about right in the middle between the word normal and cold, about right in the middle. I thought most of them were about in the middle, about right in here, right where the R is. But I'm trying to figure out, I thought they were in the block. That's the oil pressure down there. And somebody's done replaced that. Y'all can see it. Somebody's done replaced that oil pressure. Well, that's unhooked too. What in the heck? There's another hard line that's unhooked. Oh, I see what they done. They just, yep. What they did is they replaced this master cylinder at one time for the clutch. Instead of pulling the whole line off, they left it on, zip tied it on there. You can see the zip ties. That's what that is. I was wondering what that was. Let me check this. Maybe I can get the cap off of it. This is one thing I'm kind of concerned on this truck too, because I just don't really like this design. You got plenty of fluid in there. Don't look the greatest. Looks like it could use some bleeding. A little hard to get to. That's the clutch master cylinder. And these trucks are very famous for one thing. There's one thing on this truck I do not like. This clutch pedal. If you would go up under here and look, and they are notorious for this. Let's see if I can find it here. Where's it at? That's for the brakes. I know it's on here. That's for the brakes. There it is. Right here. Yep, this one's got the metal one. Alright, this is the clutch master cylinder. This is the other end of it. Somebody's done unplugged it, I see. Here's the plug right here. They've done wrapped up. Sorry about that, y'all. Let me focus that back out. So this used to plug up right on this clutch master cylinder. That's unplugged. No wonder you can start it if it's in gear. Which that's not cool, so we're going to have to fix that. I don't like that. That's a neutral safety switch. And what I was going to say is make sure, and you look under your truck, the original style ones were plastic on this clutch push rod, and what happens, they wear out. This bushing in here wears out, and it comes off. This one's got a good steel on, so that one ain't got to worry about ever really wearing out. Well, okay. Now take that back. Yep, it's worn out pretty bad. It's not the rod, it's this actual piece, the little pivot here where this rod goes on to. Yep. I see you can go on eBay and you can put a permanent fix on that. And you just take and get in here and unbolt this. There's the nut way on top. If you can get that nut out, take this clutch switch off, you can take that little stud out, and you just put a regular bolt and a different end on it, and that'll end that. But that's what that is. Because if you watch, it's so wore out that it's not the actual rod, it's this little pivot that goes through the rod. But I want to make sure it had a steel one, because what happens, what I was getting at there, is the original factory ones had plastic ones, and when I was going one day to work, it snapped on me and broke, and you pretty much stuck wherever you're at. You ain't got no way to fix it, not unless you keep one of these clutch master cylinders on hand. But make sure you got a good steel one under there, and check this pivot here. That's really important, because what happens if it breaks, you can't get home or wherever you're going. They're notorious for breaking. But let me show y'all what's doing here. We'll fire it up. 5-speed. Old buzzer still works. Now I'm gonna have to give a little gas. Alright, not touching the gas. Not touching the gas. Notice how it's idling. If you give it a little bit of gas, it doesn't sound so bad. So I'm thinking that's a sensor there, so I'm not even touching the gas and it's idling a little rough. And watch, it'll cut off in a minute. See how the idle is kinda, it won't idle quite right. It's idling a little rough. I'm gonna cut it off there. Something is up with this. Oh, okay, that's what it is. Something is up with this parking assembly. I don't know if we're missing a bracket or what's going on with this. It's missing a bolt here. I know that. It's missing something. We'll have to look into that too. Somebody's done. There's something else unplugged. You know what that goes to. Somebody's done braced it up or something. I'll have to look into that. But this truck's gonna go in storage so I can keep my 78 at home. And I noticed this switch here. If somebody could drop a comment below. I don't know much about these because this is a dual tank truck. I don't know much about these switches. If you push it up, is that the front tank? And if you push it down, is that the rear tank? That's what I'm thinking. It's on the rear right now. So if you push it down, is that this tank back here? Or is it this one? Trying to figure that out. It's not too bad of a truck though. I mean, it needs some TLC, but this is actually a factory non-AC truck. I was kind of shocked about that. If you look at the heater box and all, it's a non-AC truck. See? No compressor or nothing. So a lot of times these canisters will get a pinhole in them and that'll make it run funny too. Won't get the right vacuum and stuff. Me personally, I like to just do away with this can, but I don't know a whole lot about this new stuff. I've had a carburetor and all on it and then could mess with it a little bit more, but it doesn't run hot or nothing like that. Somebody's unplugged this master cylinder, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah. There's another end. More ends right there. Fuel pump. So I was looking on this box here for a sensor, but I don't see one. Maybe this, I don't know if this year truck had it or not, but anyway. Somebody didn't change the oil recently. Let's take a look at here. Oh, don't look bad. Anything might be a little bit low. Let's see, this one says, well, this one ain't got nothing on it. Nothing's really written on it. Huh. Just got add and full. Maybe I could look at part number up. E7TE6750-AB. That might just be a part.